to a request to rezone a portion of the residential properties that have been zoned that way on Highway 38 over to the Methodist Church. And I just want to remind everybody that if you want to speak, or if you're here, please sign in when you come in. And could you call the roll for me, please?
Sure. Chairman Peters?
Here.
Shane Phillips? Absent. Aaron Mixon? Absent. Michael Kendall?
Here.
Helen Hewitt?
Here.
Butch Price?
Here.
Alex Witowski? Absent. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Alex is gone too. All right, thank you very much. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn it over to Tim. I know Tim's been working pretty hard on this, so let's see what you got on. This is the rezoning from R1 to C2 on the Highway 38, okay?
That is correct. Do you have copies of this? Do they come here if you get your package? Okay, so y'all got them? Okay, good deal. I brought a couple extra in case you need them. This property has been actually, looked at a couple of times over the past few months about the possible rezone. And the last time you looked at this, the rezone pretty much included all of the property.
Right.
11 acres. And so the owner has hired me to look at it to try to come up with a land use plan that would best fit what they're wanting to do, but also would be good with the residential property that is around there. So we've come up with this. This property, this 3.81 acres, is located next door to the old Austin Methodist Church property and across the street from property that is owned by the old Austin Baptist Church. A couple of things in preparing this plan that we came up with that we thought would probably be beneficial. You'll notice that none of the commercial property, not 1 foot or an inch of the commercial property, comes out onto old Arkansas Highway 38 south. Everything goes out to Highway 38 proper.
Yes, sir.
We wanted to keep the residential and the commercial properties completely separate, so that's what we've done with this plan. And I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
And I just want to bring up clarification that there is not going to be any Ferguson access on the commercial property that's being rezoned.
Ferguson is the road that
Runs into the Oak, yes.
That is correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
I have it down as old Arkansas Highway 38
Oh,
south.
okay.
And you will see the plans on the residential part at the next planning commission meeting.
Lectern. Oh, we're hitting the wrong button. Okay. Go ahead, Tim.
I was going to say that you'll see the plans on the residential part, water, sewer, streets, and drainage. You will see that at the next planning commission meeting.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? No questions. Any questions from the audience? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and your address, please.
My name is Cheryl Ekman. I live at 21 Ferguson, which is in the Oakland Grove subdivision. I guess this plan here looks much better than previous plans. I'll start with a question.
Okay.
What type of assurance can we as residents of Oakland Grove have that the portion of land right in front of the subdivision is going to stay residential?
There is no way you can get a guarantee. I would just tell you that. We have to trust these people that they are giving us the best things that they believe can be done with their property. Mm-hmm. And I believe that after the last 3 public hearings, they have heard you very well. And I think this was a compromise, which I believe is a better means, because now if we take a look at the map, and that map that's in front of you, you'll notice that any of the people then that purchased any of the residential properties next to to that are already going to know that there's commercial on the front side of that
Correct.
place, and it's keeping it on Highway 38 at the
Correct.
same time. You're not going
Right.
to see it in Ferguson where they're
improvement from
cutting
last
through,
time. That's
which
correct.
we heard you there too,
Right.
okay? But yeah, there are no guarantees
Right.
whatsoever,
Well, I
except
mean,
for
we
the
would
fact
hope-
is that I trust these gentlemen to do
That's-
the right thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We would hope that they would be honest and upright, and if they're coming up with this plan and presenting it, that hopefully that's what they're going to stick with. And of course, y'all would know already, 38 traffic is horrible, more so early morning and late evening. And as we talked in previous meetings, people are constantly cutting through our neighborhood to get away from the traffic. But as far as this plan now, as long as that's what it sticks with, it's definitely going to be.
Well, and it's going to provide a buffer for your subdivision too.
Right.
And that I think is important because I know we talked about lighting, we talked about
Right,
this. You have
exactly.
all the buffering then from the other homes. And then we're very honest with the people that would move in with residential, that they know that the commercial is already there, so they don't have to worry about it. And this was kind of a good compromise, I think, that was brought up by the owners and Tim.
Right, but I guess part of our concern with the neighborhood is that, okay, yeah, cool,
Okay.
it looks better than it did,
Well, I'm sure you can fill this place up again if they want to try to do something different.
But, okay, zone it commercial, and then all of a sudden, well, no, we're not going to do residence, we're going to try to get the rest zone commercial.
Well, and I think that's why he brought a plat today to
Okay.
kind of give you a preliminary plat for the rezoning and what they look to do in the
Okay.
future.
Okay, all right, I just had that question, so,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak or address the commission?
Just clarify a statement you made. If they came back and wanted to change that R1 to a C2, we go through the same process.
Yeah, that's
So
why I
carry the
told her
whole
they
time,
could
yeah.
fill it up. Yeah,
Right.
they can fill up the place again and protest. I'm very familiar with it now. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
With that question, would it be easier as far as planning commission and city council to get it approved on the hind end once there's already commercial up front?
Oh, that's unknown.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't, they would have to come, the question was, I'm assuming, the question was, since it would be approved already for the commercial up front, would it be easier for them to get approved afterwards on the commercial on the backside? I suppose that's possible, but it still would have to come through the same process.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Any other questions, comments?
Yes, sir, I just thought of one. Is there going to be a privacy fence between the commercial and the residential where they meet?
Well, if there's not a privacy fence, there is a means of doing a division between
Yeah.
the commercial, yes, sir. And that is in our ordinances.
Yeah, I thought it was, but
Yes,
making sure.
yes. Yes, ma'am. Please
Okay.
state your name and where you live.
Elizabeth Ekman. I live at 31 Saunder Drive. So my question is, obviously I still have a concern with the infrastructure on 38. It's already, people fly down the highway and it cannot accommodate the traffic that it already has. So is there any interest of what's going to be going in there? Because I know that
We
can't
cannot
guarantee-
determine what will be put in
Right.
there. Now, let me just tell you this. With this, there will be sidewalks, all right? And I'm sure they will connect with the commercial property so people will not have to walk on the roads. So there are going to be some improvements. And I think you can see that Tim and the owners have done a good job of trying to analyze what can we come up with. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if we do not get commercial, we're not going to continue to grow. And there are only two things that happen in life. Either you're growing or you're dying. Those are the only two directions. And I learned that from a good business dean at Centenary. So I think that unless you have some major objective that you think needs to be addressed, I view the concern of the traffic on the road as secondary because it will now only be a certain amount of commercial. It's not going to be leading into Ferguson, and it's not the whole section as they did before when they were trying to get it done.
I understand that, but still, it's even that commercial part up front is still gonna bring traffic through our neighborhood.
We still
people
can't.
speeding.
Can I tell you,
So-
ma'am, I understand your concern, but
My
I
kids
want you to
actually-
listen to me for
My
a
kids
second.
actually almost got hit the other night when they were outside playing because of someone flying through the neighborhood.
Okay,
So
your
that's
children
just
shouldn't
gonna
be on Highway 38 no matter what.
they weren't on Highway 38.
Okay,
That would be
that was my
silly.
point. Okay,
They
if
were
it wasn't
in our
38, then it's
neighborhood.
not relevant. I want to make sure that we're clear. It's not relevant because I'm only going to deal with 38 right now, Highway 38.
Okay, so the neighborhood behind doesn't matter.
Of course it does. Why do you think this is the third hearing to try to be able to bring commercial? We're
Because
trying to
they would
find a
still-
good means of finding a balance so that we can create commercial development and continue to have your safe neighborhoods. Absolutely.
But they would
I
still-
totally agree with you.
They would still be cutting through more people would still be cutting through to get
You
to 38.
say so, but we have no evidence of such.
And,
I'm listening, but I'm telling you.
I lost my train of thought whenever I was trying to speak and got interrupted. But, so, you know, I don't think that it's a good idea. And that was my other thing. You talk about growing, depending on what goes in there, that could depreciate our property value, so therefore we wouldn't be growing,
Ma'am,
correct?
I think you are looking at something, you're trying to create a problem that you believe in the future. I believe the way that they have set this up, you have a buffer now between your subdivision and the commercial property, and with other residents that already will know that that is commercial property up front when they buy that lot. And I think that that is probably as good as we'll be able to do and still address your concerns and still allow our city to grow and be able to allow citizens to sell their land and try to be able to create commercial development.
We can agree to disagree.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Mike?
Evening, guys.
Good evening.
So, my brother Steve, I'm the code enforcement for Ward. I live 504 Nectarine Street in Austin. After review and discussion with the staff is recommending the rezone to commercial, and we request that this be approved.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? No questions? Anyone else? Okay. I think this concludes our public hearing then. We will reconvene, and we will reconvene at 7 o'clock. Thank you.